Welcome into your tiny reading. I am T from Tiny Divinations, coming in to tell you what gifts 2026 will bring. So, we have 3 different piles. Pick the pile or piles that you are drawn to, and I will see you in your reading. Welcome in pile 1. Let's see what gifts 2026 is coming to bring you. So, the first card you have is focus. It feels like the first thing we have that 2026 is bringing is clarity. It's bringing information. It's bringing a path. It's bringing making things clear. It's bringing knowing what to do, when to do it, what to focus on. We love that energy. So let's pull some more cards and see what else this year is bringing you. Okay, we have luck. Protection, divine feminine, and cleansing. Okay. So 2026 also looks like it's bringing you luck, right? So we're having wealth energy, abundance energy. It may be bringing you alignment and things. It may be allowing things to happen and come to you. It may be bringing more good things. It may be bringing opportunities and wealth. Things may just work out for you. Whatever you do this year may totally just work out. You may have unexpected things come to you. You may get gifts, things like that. We then have protection. And so it seems like whatever you're doing will be protected this year because you have the protection in the middle. So whatever you're doing will be protected. Your luck and your finances will be protected. Your opportunities are protected. Your path is protected. Your ability to be able to be soft and nurturing and creative is protected. Your intuition is protected. So I love that the protection is in the middle. It also suggests in terms of gifts that like the spiritual team that you have is also protecting you, or there are people on this earth that are in your actual like orbit that are protective of you as well and making sure that you're okay. The next card you have is divine feminine, and to me part of what divine feminine is bringing into you this year, like I said, is nurturing energy. It's bringing in softness. It's bringing in the ability for you to be able to breathe and spread out and to create and to have more. It seems like divine feminine and also brings you the opportunity to like dive into, like I said, your intuitive senses more and your emotional well-being more, and to get some healing around those spaces and places. You may also start working with the moon more this year, or doing some kind of therapy, or working with some kind of healing in terms of your maternal line or your relationship with women or your mother, or mother figures or something like that. So that's also there in terms of gifts. The divine feminine card also suggests that this year brings nurturing energy to you. It may bring collaboration. You may birth something new. Some people may actually literally give birth, or like part of the gift is some kind of relationship in terms of mothering. So you may like get a pet, or like I said, you may have like a better relationship with your own mother figure, or your own relationship to mothering in some aspect. So that also comes up with the divine feminine. And then you have spiritual cleansing. And with the spiritual cleansing, I feel like the gift of that is being able to clear things out, being able to release things this year, being able to recognize what needs to go, and how to best remove it from your energy. You're also this year removing like energetic hooks from things from the past, or situations or energy that's been stagnant and stuck around you, or like feelings that have been stuck in your energy or your like your auric field, and being able to clear these things out of your energetic space, your literal space, clear it out of different aspects of your life in general. So this is some of what I'm getting in terms of the gifts that you're getting this year. Now let's move into how these gifts will manifest. do it again just one more time, just in case. Now, let's move into how these gifts will manifest for you in 2026. So, when I say how these gifts will manifest, I kind of mean like how they'll show up, like what they'll look like. So, we're going to use the numerology guidance card and see what we get. Okay. Okay, so we have physical activity, relationship change, environment, communication, spiritual partnership, and healing. Okay. And I'm just going to get some clarifiers and talk this out a little bit. So, some of the ways that these gifts will manifest, right? First, we're starting with physical activity. My first thought, oh, wait, these cards are mixed up. Okay, so the cards we have are physical activity, relationship change, environment, communication. Let me do that again because I didn't do that. We're at 7 minutes. Okay. The cards we have are physical activity, relationship change, environment, communication, spiritual partnership, and healing. So let's pull some clarifiers as I talk it out a bit. So the first thing I got with physical activity, I definitely feel like there's people that are going to feel stronger this year. There are people that have been on health journeys. So you're going to continue to be on that health journey, whether that's to get more, like more weight, or to get more muscle, or for some people that's to lose weight, and for some people that's to get healthier. Like there are a number of things that I feel like people are working on, and it definitely feels like you're going to be much more active this coming year. Yeah, and then we have the Two of Cups that just came out as our clarifier, and you have the caduceus here, which is signifying health. So you'll definitely be in better health. You'll definitely be more active, which will lead to you having better health. I definitely feel like you're going to feel better in your body. You're going to feel either more like yourself or more like a better version of yourself. And I feel like that continues for you throughout the year. The card you have on the bottom is the Chariot. And so it just feels like this year, part of what the gift for you and how that will manifest is within your body and within how you literally physically feel, and the physical capabilities that you have, and the power that you own, and what you'll be able to do in, let's say, 6 months from now that you maybe couldn't fathom doing right now, or you couldn't fathom doing a year from now, or excuse me, a year ago, and you're further now, and you'll be even further, a year from now. So it definitely feels like part of the gift that's coming to you this year is feeling stronger, feeling more powerful, feeling more capable, being more in alignment with your body, right? We then have relationship change. And so part of how this manifests for people in terms of the things that we got in the previous cards as the gifts for this year is being in new relationships and new situations. This is romantic, but this is also like friendship relationships. For some people, these are relationships in terms of your workspace. And so not just doing a different job, but being in different company of different people, being around people that are actually collaborative, being around people that are communicative and want to help each other. We have the 10 of Cups that just came out as a clarifier. So I love how this just goes with each one of the cards we got. It's definitely giving, like dream situation, so if it is any kind of relationship change, friendship, love, work relationship, then it's definitely going to be something that feels good. It fills your cup. It feels like a dream in a sense, but it's real. It's definitely a real partnership. You also have the spiritual partnership card here. So it feels like within whatever these situations are, whether, like I said, they're love or friendship or work related, it feels like they're spiritually led. It feels like they are symbiotic, like they're balanced. You know, you do for this person and they also do for you. The care and love is definitely even. It blossoms into new things. It makes you want more. And like I said, this is whether this is business or, you know, platonic or love wise. So I definitely feel like that's coming for you this year. The card you have on the bottom is the Two of Swords. So it suggests to me that there are some people that may be afraid to move into different situations. There may be people afraid of change because you don't know what's going to come at the end of it. And again, you have this Nine of Pentacles after the Two of Swords. So it's like, if you do choose to want better, if you do choose to release a situation, you do choose to want more, like you'll find the fruits of the work that you've done on yourself, or the work that you'll do on yourself in the coming months. And you know, be able to be more in alignment to have this situation, to call this in, to own it, you know what I mean? And in the time that you spend by yourself, if you don't wind up in the next spiritual partnership as quickly as you may think, you will feel much better. You still will feel like you got, you know, you got exactly what you needed by leaving, or you got exactly what you needed and are able to grow in the ways that you maybe wouldn't have grown in the situation, you know? So that's part of what I get also in terms of how this manifests for our year. Let's move into the environment card, right? So just off the bat, in terms of how it manifests in your environment, we had the lucky card, we had the spiritual cleansing, we had the protection. So I think you see all of that around you. You see that in your life. You see that in your physical space in terms of things, you know, that need to go, things that are being removed. You're changing your environment. You're changing what your space looks like. You're changing where you go. You know what I mean? You're starting to put more baths into yourself, or you're starting to be more intentional about cleansing yourself. And so you'll start to see the change in energy there when you start to do those different works. I think also in how you recognize that you'll be out more in the world, you know what I mean? You'll be more of the world. And I think that also comes in with that physical activity card that we were talking about. And that may be why or how you're able to find that spiritual partnership in whatever iteration that is. And then we have this Eight of Wands as a clarifier, which is this person outside on a motorcycle, just on the open road, right? So again, it feels like you'll definitely be outside. It feels like you'll have, I feel like you'll have more confidence. You'll have more ownership of yourself. Some people will have more want to just do shit, so you're willing to do it by yourself and just you know, go and take up space and you know, do more of the things that you want to do. So I feel like that also comes up this year. We then have communication. And so part of the ways I think that those things that we talked about, the luck, the protection, the spiritual cleansing, the divine feminine, um, comes up this year for us in communication, is that, like I said, your power, your confidence. So you have more of a voice. You're going to use your voice more this year. You're going to actually express yourself, whether that's in creative ways and, you know, like putting yourself out there, whether that's like social media or writing or something like that. But then you also have people that are just speaking up for themselves more and aren't afraid. Yeah, I like that. I was just about to go there. You aren't as nervous, you aren't as anxious about speaking up for yourself, about saying the things that you need to say. It feels like there's like less passivity with some people. If you are more of a passive person, if you're somebody who doesn't normally maybe say what you think all the time, or you know, speak your mind or share your feelings and your thoughts, you're going to be much more passionate about these things this year, it feels like. And this will bring you more. This will bring you not only more respect, but it feels like for the people who actually put themselves out there, that go with the creative feelings that they're feeling from the divine energy and speak into their emotions and speak into their healing and speak into the things that they feel excited about creating and put them out there and share them with other people, you will find success with that, right? We have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So it feels like it's definitely time to start doing these things and speaking these things and working on your thoughts and your opinions and your voice and sharing that with other people. Okay. And then the bottom card is the Six of Cups, and she's literally sharing this cup, this full cup with this little girl, right? And so it's like, to me, part of why you need to communicate this year, part of why this is part of the gift that you're getting and you need to share in terms of your voice, that it's needed. There are people that need to hear the things that you have to say. There are people that need to see what you need to create. There are people that you're going to inspire and you're going to help, and that you can that that can help you eat, is what spirit just said to me. So these are some of the things. Oh, and then we have the healing card at the end. And so let's see. I think we kind of already talked about that with the physical activity and the emotions that we're going through. I feel like it's also healing to get in these new relationships and to get outside in these spaces and do things where you would normally feel less confident or you would normally not do, and be able to do them. And so I think part of it, like the healing, is that comes to you this month, excuse me, this year coming up, and the way it manifests is being able to balance all of these things, being able to balance who you are with who you want to be, and making it all feel good, not doing too much so that you feel uncomfortable, and not like shelling yourself up like some people have been, or telling yourself you don't want to do certain things that you actually want to do. Okay, so that's part of that. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, and then we have the Ten of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Hierophant. This gives me that part of the healing that is happening is like moving from just doing shit, or doing unfulfilling work, or moving in ways that feels tiring, or like monotonous, or like you're stuck, to really being able to dig into with the intuition and the divine and the emotions of it, and the spiritual cleansing with this water at the bottom, to what you like, what would propel you to a place of leadership, or what would propel you to a place of um, being able to like own your power, and instead of like being hunched over and just carrying the load, being able to um, own everything with like just your words and your presence and who you are. Like, these are two very different energies to me, and it feels like going from here to through this healing to here. Okay, so that is what I'm getting for how these gifts manifest. Okay, we are going to end the reading with some words of wisdom and a working for your year. So starting with your words of wisdom, we are going to use the Wild Goddess Oracle. The Survivor. Things might not work out as planned, at least in the short term. Remember all you have endured and how resilient you have proven to be. I love that. And then let's get your working. For the working, we're using the Earthcraft Oracle. Each of these cards comes with its own, okay, magical working. We have Sight of the Owl. And for this card, the working that goes with it are release affirmations. We are beings who love our comfort zones, and this card is the much needed nudge to step out of yours and allow what is coming to arrive. Recite these affirmations for the next 7 days. I release myself from all expectations. I release myself from the need to control. I release myself from fighting redirection. I release myself from fear of the unknown. I release myself to all that is, knowing all is as it should be. Ashe. And just in case, you can pause to read if you want to read what the book says about this card. Okay, y'all. So that is the gifts you are getting in 2026. Please let me know what you think about this reading. If you would like your own version of this reading, please book with me on wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Substack, listen to this month's podcast. Follow me on all the channels at Tiny Divination. And if this is not your only pile, I will see you in your next pile. If not, thank you so much for reading with me. I will see you in your next reading. Welcome in pile 2. Let's get into the gifts that 2026 will bring you. So, the first card that you have is New Life. I love this. So it feels like 2026 is definitely bringing you gifts of newness, bringing you fresh starts, bringing you different things, blah, blah, blah. Bringing you new situations and new scenery and new people and a new feeling. And it reminds me of like birth and when babies are born and just how, um, unjaded they are. And so it feels like there's a wonder to you this year, and there'll be a curiosity and joy and like a playfulness to your year. So I love that. Let's get some more cards and see what more gifts are coming to you. All right, what other gifts are coming to pile 2 for 2026? Okay, we have trust, healer, and transformation. Okay, so the gifts that are coming, we have trust. Part of the gift that the trust gives us is having faith and believing that shit is going to work out, right? I feel like things do start working out for you so that you start to build more trust. With that carefree energy that we have in the new life and that playful energy, I feel like that also starts to bring in more ability to believe that like the universe is, does have your back. The universe is out making things, conspiring for things to happen good for you to, really bring shit to you. I feel like you start to be able to trust yourself more and start to have less doubts or anxiety about things, or less, questioning if the things that you think are correct or not. I feel like you are also more able this year to like walk into the unknown, or be able to walk and go into life, or into situations without actually knowing what's going to happen, because you have more faith, because you believe that shit is working in your favor always. So you're more able to like do things that you might not normally do, or go into things that you may not know the outcome, but you believe that it's going to work out for you. Like it feels like that. With the healer card, I feel like you'll have the gift of recognizing your healing abilities this year, whether that looks like you being able to heal others through medicine that you know about, medicine that you make, medicine that you create somehow, or healing that you're able to give through your hands, or like it feels like Reiki and for some people, or sound therapy for some people. It also feels like um, there are people who use healing modalities, you know what I mean, like similar to what I'm doing right now. You may be able to work in ways on people's bodies specifically. It definitely feels like I'm speaking about things to do with people's body specifically, not necessarily like therapy or something like that. Not that it can't be therapy, but it feels like there's ways in which there are people that can heal people's bodies, or heal people physically in some way, and that you'll start to recognize that, or see that more, or realize that you want to work in healing spaces, or um, you know the medical field, or something like that. And it also feels like for some people, like I said, it feels like with the eye of Horus on the card, it feels like your third eye is expanding. It feels like your own gifts are expanding. We didn't get the psychic card, but that still also comes out to me. So like it may look like you healing yourself, or being able to heal some part of your life, or being able to heal the people around you, or finding the things that they need to be able to heal themselves, or help themselves with sickness or something like that. You know what I mean? So that is part of what comes up to me with the healer card. And like I said, for some people, it feels like there's this energy to be able to heal yourself this year. If you've been going through something, if you've been dealing with something, if something comes up this year, you have this healer card. So don't forget that if it does come up, that there is the energy there, powerful energy there for you to be healed. And you may need to go to like an Eastern medicine way of thinking, or more, even more so, a spiritual way of healing, or like a spiritual technique that may work on helping to heal whatever's going on with you. We then have the transformation card, and like you start with new life and you have the transformation card at the end. So it's like book ending the change that's coming to you, book ending the ability to flourish into something new, to have your life look like something new, to have everything um, feel different and light and like shiny and new. You know what I mean? Like it's given like new car smell. It feels like this year brings you the gift of transitioning and being able to go through many phases, or to be able to see how you've moved through different phases and how you've become this different version of yourself. So, this is what I'm getting in terms of the gifts that are coming to you for 2026. Let's get into how some of these gifts will manifest. Okay, in order to see how these gifts are going to manifest, we are using the numerology guidance cards. Okay, starting off with karmic completion and then intuition. We have something turned over here. Hold on. New beginnings. Oh, communication. Oh, and completion. Okay. So again, we start with karmic completion and end with completion. Okay. So there are definitely things. Number one, you ended certain cycles. There are certain lessons that you've learned. There's certain cycles that have come to pass. And you'll see the things released as a result of that. You'll see things removed as a result of that. There are situations that have come to an end in your life that, like, they've run their course and you need to transition out of them, or they need to transition to the side or whatever. So you'll see that in different ways. I'm going to pull some clarifiers just to see what that might look like. Okay. So we have the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Lovers. Okay. So oh, the karmic completion and the completion, in terms of what that looks like, to me, it looks like it has to do with work and finances, um, something that you've been working on or working towards. So either you've completed something that you've been working towards, and now it's time to transition out of the study space and into the actual workspace. Or for some people, it's time for you to transition out of the job or career that you've been doing. Like, it's run its course, the space you're in has run its course, and it's time for you to look for something else, and look for something that's more aligned with either what you want to do now or what really feeds your spirit. Or because if for some people it feels like you don't believe that you can do something that you like to do that can also pay you. For some people, you just don't know what the hell that looks like. But for both of those sets of people, you know that the job that you're doing no longer works. It's no longer aligned. And you've either been thinking about looking for something else, or you've actually been looking for something else. So it's time to transition. because there's some cycle, there's something in this that is complete. So whether that's transitioning into another space within the place that you're in, or transitioning out of that space to a different company, or transitioning out of that industry, or or career path in general. But it's very much there in terms of, this is like my paid in full card. I'm thinking of a master plan because ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. Like, it's like, you ready to go, you ready to make some shit shake. So that's what this gives me in terms of how the karmic completion will kind of manifest for a number of people in terms of the gifts that we get this year. We then have intuition. And like I said before, I think for some people, you have your, not only your life's changing, but your abilities are changing. What you believe is changing. How you believe is changing. What you believe can happen is changing. Right. And then the high priestess pops out. So yeah, there are people that are getting more intuitive this year. There are people that are going to be more spiritual. Your spiritual self is going to expand. Your spiritual beliefs are going to expand. Your gifts are going to expand. Your knowledge, and maybe the knowledge that you share, is going to expand. The modalities that you use are going to expand. It definitely feels like spiritual occultness. It doesn't necessarily feel like very churchy. It feels like you may learn more about uh, like certain aspects of the occult or spirituality, and you may be sharing with other people. You may like join a group. You may start sharing with other people about what you learned. You may start writing, like I said, about what you learned. And I said this in pile 1. So if that was, you were drawn to pile 1 at all, then you may want to go and watch that, because we talked about people's voices, and also we got the communication card here. So again, if you're drawn to any aspect of spirituality or the occult or metaphysics or something like that, and you talk about it all the time, where there's certain topics that you're like drawn to and you tell people about all the time, then you may want to share things, and you may want to start writing, or even just recording it for yourself, and then maybe later you can do something with it if you choose to. But just getting it out of your head and getting it onto something. It feels like on paper, or for some people, it's actually getting the magic moments on paper. So there's this book that I wrote called Intuitive Teas. It's a digital journal that you can use to write down every time a magic moment happens to you. And it feels like for some people, that's part of what you need to write down. You need, what I call it, is receipts of your magic. And you need to start writing this shit down so that you get receipts of your own magic. Okay. And that's part of how these gifts manifest, because you will start seeing more of this come up this year. Like, it will definitely start ramping up for you. Okay. Then you have the new beginnings card, and we already kind of talked about with the new life, everything looking different, your life looking different. But let's see what comes up. We have the Fool card. So yeah, it feels like the new beginnings are just in life in general. This is a major arcana card. You have 0, so there's no beginning, no ending. It's it feels like it's just full of possibilities. The Fool is walking off the cliff into the unknown, in a sense. But we have that trust. We know that what's going to happen to us is for the best. We are being primed for the better. Our people are working on, working shit out for us. And so the Fool is not worried. The Fool knows all of that. And so they're walking with that knowing into this new journey. And just in general, it feels like that's part of how this gift manifests. You'll have all these different ways in your life that you see newness, and that you see, new opportunities, and that you'll see like this carefree feeling, and that you'll start to feel ease and joy and release. And that's how that, will start to show up. And then in terms of the communication, I feel like we kind of already talked about that, but I'm just going to see if there's anything else. Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So I feel like with the communication, part of how this manifests, like I said, for you, is if you are able to use your voice, I feel like you'll see the fruits of that. I feel like whatever you're talking about, number one, is not necessarily things you're just learning, but things you've already been putting into action, things you already know how to do, skills you already have, and you could use these things to just share with other people and actually monetize it somehow, or actually start teaching people and making it work for you, especially in transitioning out of your situation. There's ways that this can be very fruitful for you, and you can have what you want if you open your mouth. And for some people, that doesn't just look like writing and communicating, but it looks like actually saying what you need. Some people need to ask for raises. Some people need to say that they want a different position. Some people need to speak to other people and tell them that you're looking and you're putting out feelers, and there's shit that you'll get as a result of that. You know what I mean? So that's what that feels like to me in terms of how this is showing up for you, um, in terms of the manifestation of these gifts. So this is what we're getting for this. We're going to transition into your working for 2026. Okay, so we're using the Earthcraft Oracle deck to get your working for 2026, and then we will close your reading out with your words of wisdom. Oh, there's already one turned over. Drought. So each of these cards comes with a ritual or working, and this is the one that comes with drought. Water spirit ritual. Ingredients: pot of water, white rose petals, 1 tablespoon of sea salt. This water spirit brew clears and resets the auric body, allowing divinity to come through and unblocking the messages from the earth, the sky, our ancestors, and other guides. Repeat this ritual for 3 consecutive days to ensure these communications are heard. Bring a pot to a boil, add the sea salt, and simmer until the salt dissolves. The salt holds the energy of the water. Allow the water to cool before adding the white rose petals, which symbolize the essence of spirit. Sit or stand naked in the bath. Scoop up the brew with a cup and pour it over your head mindfully and slowly. Envision the water spirit covering you in the blue light as the brew drips down your body. Keep pouring until it's all gone. Then shower with cold water for no more than 1 minute. Then warm water to finish the ritual. Okay. And then we will get your words of wisdom. The Sybil. Think twice before sharing what you know with anyone except those who know without question. Think twice before sharing what you know with anyone except those you know without question are ready to hear it. Okay. And that is your reading for your gifts for 2026, pile 2. Thank you so much for reading with me. Let me know what you think about this reading. If you would like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe. Follow on TikTok and Instagram at Tiny Divinations. Subscribe to the podcast on Substack or on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, Tiny Musings with T. And thank you again for reading with me. Let me know how this reading was. Let me know what you think of this year coming up. If we are already in this year when you're watching this, let me know how the year is going. If you have another pile, I will see you there. And if not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in pile 3. Let's get into your gifts that 2026 is given. So the first card you have is Full Moon. So it looks like the gifts you're getting this year is illumination. Okay. Full moons come when things are coming to fruition. So it seems like you'll have things come to fruition this year. Things you've been working on will come full bloom. Things you may start at the beginning of the year, you'll see them bloom this year. You'll have a light shined on different aspects of your life this year. And with the full moon, you definitely have like full power. So not only is it shining a light on things, but it's bringing this full powerful energy to certain aspects of your life that you can utilize. and help to shine a light on certain aspects of things, make things bigger, bring more energy to those things. So this is part of what you're getting from this full moon card. Let's pull some more cards and see what other gifts are available to you this year. Also, real quick, you may want to utilize full moons this year in general to, based on whatever the moon is in, and like work with that energy so that you can bring in or work with whatever that is to manifest that and enhance that within your life, because it feels like you getting this card is no coincidence in terms of you being able to utilize that magic this year as well. So that's also part of a gift that you have this year. Okay. Okay. So we have guides, stormy, divine masculine, veiled, and meditate. Okay, so starting with guides, the some okay, so starting with guides, part of the gifts that are available, why can't I talk? Because I'm getting tired. That's why. Let's do that again. So, starting with guides, the gifts that you have available to you in 2026 are definitely being able to have the support of your spiritual team. First, you had the power and the enhancement of that full moon energy, and then the next card you get is guides. So, you definitely have people on your side, on the other sides, doing the work for you, making shit happen, being able to give you advice and guidance, being able to tap into that, being able to see the magics of your spiritual team and how they're working throughout your life this year. That will definitely be a big gift for you. The next thing you have is stormy. And with the guides on one side and the divine masculine, it makes sense to me that part of the gifts you'll have for 2026 is being able to weather storms, right? Being able to see the other side of things when they happen, and get out unscathed, or with little loss, or little injury or anything like that, whether that's literal or figurative. You'll be able to see storms coming and be able to bypass things. You'll be able to weather things and have things where it may affect other people, not affect you. And I feel like part of that is because you have the spiritual and magical support. And the other part of that is these cards over here, the divine masculine and the veiled, where part of the gifts that's available to you this year is being able to think logically and critically, being able to get things done, being able to move on things when you need to, and know what action to take. And being able to have the strength of not only your own divine masculine energy, but the divine masculines in your life, and there being more divine masculine energy in your life to be able to help you weather these storms, or to support you, or to help carry you over, when you need that kind of help. Again, whether that's literally or figuratively, it feels like that's part of the energy that comes up too. So not only is it your own divine masculine energy, your own power, your own being able to make shit happen, to be actionable, to have critical thinking and logical thoughts and things like that, but also your ability to utilize that energy that is around you and have more of that energy come into your life and be around you to help you, be supported. You then have the veiled card. And I feel like part of the gifts that the veil card is bringing for 2026 has to do with you being able to see shit, which again, I feel like is part of you being able to weather the storm, because you're able to see things before they happen. You're able to see things in different ways and perspectives that other people aren't able to see them, and move on that and act in that way. You're able to see people and things for who they are and what they are. Again, when other people may not be able to see them. For some people, it's like it doesn't feel like a second sight, because it may not necessarily be your gift, but it's your ability to tap into your people. It's your ability to tap into your guides, or your ability to tap into your own magic. And it may be enhanced during full moon phases, or close to the moon phases, or close to eclipses, or something like that, where you start getting downloads, where you start being able to hear things more. And that is what tunes you into what's going on around you, or the information you need to know, or the things that were being hidden from you, or the things that you didn't know that you need to know, or, things like that. So that's part of your gifts this year as well. It also feels like with the veiled card, you're more able to let down your own mask this year. If you're somebody who feels like you have to wear a mask around people, or that you have to mask a lot of times, it feels like you may be in spaces or around more people where you feel more comfortable being yourself. And that starts to be more of the norm for you. And that's, of course, a gift. And you also, within the veiled card, like I said, get clarity on things. So not only do you get to see things from different perspectives, but it feels like you just have this like insight. And the last card you have for the gifts you get for 2026 is meditation, or meditate, excuse me. And I think part of that is like this year, part of the gift you get is peace. It's tranquility. It's being able to know not only how to bring that into your life, but to really just have that. There's moments, not even just like these little moments, but like it feels like there's points in this month, excuse me, this year, and throughout this year, where you'll just feel like at peace, or very calm or serene, or that things are very calm and serene, or that you can like breathe, and you have the ability to go into yourself, and you feel comfortable going into yourself, and you feel comfortable finding ways and modalities to meditate, and to bring you into alignment with yourself, and to um, like get in with your thoughts, and to like have this inner understanding. It feels like that's part of the gift that also comes to you this year. Some of that may look like a meditation, literally, or breath work. Also, with meditation looks different. It's not just sitting quietly all the time. There are different forms of meditation, right? And so there may be different meditation that works better for you if you've tried meditation and you don't think it's worked for you before. Maybe look for different modalities. Maybe look for different ways of meditating and try some of those. Okay. But like I said, it may look like prayer. It may look like um, yoga, or like a moving meditation, or qigong. It could look like just taking more breaks this year from the things that you have to do. It could look like having more balance between knowing what you need to do and what you don't necessarily need to do in that moment. What you can put on the back burner, adding more you time, adding in more self care, adding in more time for you to just have silence, or just be by yourself, or be able to detach more from like the everyday goings on of life. It feels like that's part of the gift that comes to you this year as well. So these are the gifts I'm getting for 2026. Let's move into how these will be manifested for you. Okay, to see how these gifts will manifest this year, we are using the numerology guidance cards. We have creativity. Oh, okay. Creativity, personal growth, love, completion, time out. Oh, there's another one. Effort, teaching and learning, and patience. We got a lot. Okay, so how this will manifest for people in terms of the gifts that we're getting this year, right? So the first card we have is creativity. So it feels like part of how this manifests for you is being able to be more creative, being able to be more playful, being able to even be in a mind state where you are thinking about creating things, or where you can start something new, or just practice, or just play with things, and see what you like. For some people, it's literally getting back to things that you were creating, or that you used to do, and finding your way in that again. I feel like that's part of how these gifts that we talked about manifest. For some people, that may be like the meditative thing that you bring in. For other people, that may look like magic that comes in, or that divine masculine energy that we talked about. But it feels like it just feels like you feel more confident to want to do things. You feel like you want to try shit again. And that's some energy that comes up. And it really can look like something that um, brings joy to you and brings um, some of that serene energy, that ease energy into you. You also have personal growth. So some of the ways that those things manifest is you being able to see this year, you implementing these things or these things showing up in your life, and how that changes you, how that makes you into a more mature person, how that changes your habits and your thought processes. You start to acknowledge, who you are, and owning who you are, but also, the good and the bad about that, and really sitting with the things that you're, not comfortable with about yourself, and starting to become more comfortable with those things, as well as being able to change the things that you want to change. Okay. You then have love, and love can come in a number of ways. Love can look like you loving what you do and loving life more this year, or actually having more love around you, people that love you, people that support you, being more open and receiving yourself, being able to like move through the world with the eyes of love. You know what I mean? Like having more gratitude, being able to be more positive, having more of a positive outlook, giving more positive energy out, and then receiving that back. It feels like for some people it's literal relationships, like I said, receiving more love, being in love, feeling that energy again. For some people, you haven't felt that in a long time, and you'll see that this year in like different iterations. For some people, it's like one person. For some people, it's starting to date and just feeling yourself and feeling giddy and like loving life again. Um, some people like outside of the dating, and like I said, it's just like loving life again and bringing more love into your life. So that's part of how you'll see that manifest this year. You also have the completion card and then the timeout card. So there's definitely things that you'll see that have run its course this year that are coming to an end, or that will be coming to an end, that you'll see will be coming to an end within, like the next year or something like that, depending on when that this kind of pans out for you. It's definitely feeling like this is how the gift manifests, because for some people you wouldn't have left situations without it ending the way that it will. For some people you needed like a push or for something to happen because you've been getting this message. For some people it's been for years and you haven't been heeding it. So you know it's definitely going to be a transition in that sense. For some people, it's just a matter of the growth that you are going to see this year, kind of just, transforming you in your relationship with places and spaces and people, and you just outgrowing them, and needing to move your own way, or vice versa. And so you seeing things come to an end that way. You also have the timeout card, which part of how you'll see this gift manifest is, like I said before, with the meditation card, you being able to have more peace and ease, you being able to take more breaks, you being able to actually work that into your days or your schedule or your life more attainably than you've been able to do in the past, and really be able to like recharge and restore and receive a real break and a real detachment from all of the things that you have to do, or the ways in which you used to do things before that made things kind of frantic, or taxing on your body, on your mental, on your spirit. The timeout card could also look like people taking vacations, or being able to literally get away more, or maybe you're able to transition to like working from home in some spaces, or having a different schedule, but being able to like work more, like I said, ease and relaxation and detachment into your days. You then have the effort card, and I love that it's under the personal growth and the creativity. I feel like this year you're going to have more spark, more spunk, more energy to do shit. You're going to want to do more. You're going to want to get out. You're going to want to try things. So the effort is how that manifests, and you just like doing. It's like almost for some people your year of yes, and just like wanting to do and wanting to try and wanting to go. So you will, and you'll be able to see the growth in the things that you do that you probably wouldn't have done before. It feels like you'll have more determination It feels like you'll have more self will, you'll have more drive, you'll have more clarity and action and like want to figure shit out. Then we have the teaching and learning card. And my first thought when I saw this was for some people, you're going back to school, you're going to class, you're going to study things, you're going to expand your knowledge of certain things or your trade or like getting certificates or there's another word for it that I can't think of right now. My brain wanted to say achievements, but that's not what I was actually thinking. That's not the word. That's not the right word I'm thinking of. But like for some people, you're expanding your knowledge and your skills and like getting it on paper or like putting it in writing or like putting your head in the books kind of energy. It feels like this year. And for some people, you are transitioning into sharing the information that you have or sharing your gifts and teaching people. And for some people, that's just the people around you, or like it feels like also teaching younger people, um, teaching kids, or like young adults or something like that in your space. Um, and for some people, that's transitioning into some kind of teaching or leading or like mediator aspect in whatever kind of job that you do. You may start training people more, or you may be in a position where you start to make decisions on. Um, Sorry, y'all, my mic died. So, finishing up with where we were with teaching and learning. um, I feel like not only are you like teaching and learning about different subjects, but it feels like some people are teaching and learning about life lessons, like things that have happened to you in certain phases of your life, or working in certain industries or careers, or for some people, it's your life as a whole and things people can learn, life lessons from your life. So that's kind of what I'm getting from the teaching and learning, and just you implementing the lessons that you've learned this year, like you actually implementing teaching and learning in your own aspects in your own life. We also have the patience card, and I feel like the way that the patience card manifests for you is by seeing your ability to move through things and have patience, have your ability to slow down and to think about things, to have more control in ways that you may not have emotionally or mentally had control before, to be able to calm yourself down, calm others down, respond and think, like to think and respond instead of reacting, which you may have done before. I feel like the patience comes in within your demeanor, it comes within your actions, it comes within the way you think about things and the way you respond and you move in situations. And I think the patience also comes within understanding the flow of your year and the energy of when things are moving and when things are stagnant or when things are meant to be regrouped, or like just understanding the flow of what's going on more. And that again evolves from the personal growth, it comes from the completion of certain things, it comes from you being able to take more time to yourself, to have these meditative moments, to get into your thoughts, to get into your inner power and your inner being. So these are the things that we get in terms of how our gifts manifest for this year. We're going to end with your working for this year and some words of wisdom. Okay, so getting into your words of wisdom, we are using the Wild Goddess Oracle. We have the Drama Queen. Some people need a high level of attention to validate their sense of worth. Make sure that you are not that person staging needless plays. Mm-hmm. Okay, I feel like we should get one more, and this one is kind of sticking up. So then we have the Poet. Make your life a work of art and your art a work of life. See the poetry in the mundane, and you will be rewarded beyond measure. Love that. So, those are your words of wisdom. And then we are going to get a working for you. And this comes from our Earthcraft Oracle. Every card in this deck comes with its own ritual or magical working. We have Gatherer. Okay, so the working that we have that goes with Gatherer is Gatherer Invocation. This Gatherer Invocation is the most powerful during a full moon. Right, okay. However, it can be channeled anytime to call in abundance. To amplify this invocation, speak the words aloud 13 times, beginning with a whisper and gradually growing louder until you are pouring all your energy into the last round. As you speak, spin joyfully with your arms out and flowing whatever your spirit moves them. Each time you reach the word leap, stop and leap in the air. As with the volume, you want to start with a small leap and gradually leap higher and higher. The invocation. Cut the vine, pick the fruit, take a bough, and thank the root. Gather, dear child, all you seek. There's abundance all around with every leap. Okay. And just in case you want to see the rest of the card, there is that. Pause to read. So that is your reading for this year, for the gifts you will receive, pile three. I hope this all makes a lot of sense to you. I hope you are embracing what is coming this year. It seems like a lot of goodness to me, a lot of growth, a lot of newness and change, and like it's deep energy. I really like it. If you'd like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, subscribe on Substack or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts to get Tiny Musings with Tea. And if you have another pile, I will see you there. Thank you so, so much for reading with me. And if not, I will see you in our next reading.